March 10th, I received a welfare check on a subject that was sitting in a white Chevrolet pickup truck. I was familiar with the name from a previous call, I think with that, probably a week and a half prior to that day. They stated he was off his meds and might be armed with a knife. And I arrived on the scene, made contact with him in his vehicle for a couple minutes till we decided what we're going to do on the approach. We were trying to get some more information on why the person called. Said he was just staring out in the space. I think he said he'd been there like 2.5 hours to 3 hours.
At a convenience store.
Right, so therefore we want to make sure this person's okay. And while doing so, I remember running him previously a week and a half prior on another call, and his driver's license was suspended. As I sat there and watched the subject for a few minutes, he then took off at a high rate of speed and never looked up and almost caused an accident right here on Nolensville Road in front of Two-Way Market.
So you guys didn't even go up to him and start talking to him yet? He just saw you and took off?
He took off. He knew he was going to run when he seen us. I motioned for him to stop, told him to stop, and he went right by me very fast. He never even stopped for the traffic that was going southbound. I mean, I remember hearing the tires squealing and almost caused a wreck. From that point, we always want to look out for the safety of the public, so the speeds were pretty well to a minimum, although he did pass several cars on the left side of the road going, interfering with the northbound traffic. He went through some intersections recklessly. We stayed behind him. Everything was by policy and procedure on pursuit.
So when this is happening, and you're saying were there other officers there?
Yeah, there's 2 more that was coming up behind me, yeah. Once he turned on the Sanford Road, some things came back to me. I remember this guy lives on this road on the right. I didn't remember about where he lived. Once we got to his house, he pulled in the driveway. I'm sure you watch enough police stuff. Most people don't run toward us when they run. They run opposite from the police car. Well, my window was down. I guess I was enjoying a spring morning. And for whatever reason, in 1.5 seconds, according to the video camera, he was in my window stabbing me. I never even got my seatbelt off. I never got my seatbelt off. And it happened that fast. And it was more of a shocking type thing. I remember the words he said to me, yelled at me, that he was going to kill me, explicit words. And I remember his tongue hanging out of his mouth like a madman. And I think the first blow was overhanded. That's where he got me in the shoulder near my collarbone, or at my collarbone. Then I remember he was trying to grab he pulled my shirt at one point up into the window, and I got sliced 3 times right across the heart area, but my vest stopped that. So from that point, I actually thought I was gone. I could not draw my weapon. The reason I couldn't draw my weapon, the particular patrol car I drive is a Ford. When I leaned my body to the right to try to fight off the attacker, gain distance from him, from the stab, my weapon and holster lodged up under the armrest, and I mean locked. I had no other means of survival at that point. So I remember trying to give the car gas to get away from him, to try to gain distance. And I know when my body was to the right, my foot had pressed that gas during the excitement, the adrenaline rush. I remember hearing the motor just wide open. Well, it won't go into gear while it's running high RPMs. And because I've been thinking, all this is in seconds, and I remember thinking, wow, my transmission's out in this car. You're thinking all this stuff, and I remember one point I closed my eyes because I knew the worst was probably going to happen to me. And then it hit me, and I just decided I was not ready to die. I told myself, calm down, let off the gas, calm down. And when I did, of course, my feet were shaking, my legs were shaking, but I was able to get it in reverse at that point, and I probably backed up, I don't know, 50 feet, 60 feet, and gained distance from him. At that point, it seemed like he stood there a minute, and then he ran toward his truck. I'm sorry. When he ran toward his truck, I was able, from the distance I was able to safely get out with my long rifle in case he attacked other officers. I remember while he was in my window, I seen a citizen coming out of their house, walking toward us, and I'd yelled at the citizen to get back. I didn't want them to get hurt too, so the citizen did respond and turn back around, but at that point it was to protect other officers, myself, and the citizens in the area. When he went toward his truck, we did not know if he had a gun at that point. We already knew he had the knife. I'd already been stabbed, and other officers were able to try to communicate with him. He was being belligerent, non-compliant, and he finally, I don't know, after a few minutes, dropped the knife. And at that point, of course, we don't know if he's got any other weapons on him, so we still had to, keep our guard up. And we got up on him, tried to get him stopped. He was tased twice with no effect. It was very windy that morning, and I think his shirt might have been loose, and that could affect the taser. And pepper spray had a little effect, but we were finally able to take him into custody without further incident. Nobody else got hurt at that point.
Thinking back on that day, being able to say that, to be able to take him in without additional incident, nobody else got hurt.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
It was a great feeling when it was over with to know that lives were spared. That was my main goal.
While it was happening, did you realize what was happening?
No. If I told you I did, I'd be lying, because I started learning more a couple hours after it was over with. I didn't know why my weapon was not out until I sat back down in my car and I leaned myself the same way I was. I seen what happened. I seen where it locked up. We're correcting the problems. But the shock I was in, I remember reviewing the video. I only looked at it once or twice. And I seen myself in front of my patrol car on my video camera with my rifle, and I seen my head just go like, I shook my head like, what happened? I was really in shock. You don't expect to be attacked, number one. Of course, you always expect the unexpected, but again, I was almost like ambushed, I think. You sit around and think about it. I did, I think about it every day. And I got a different outlook on life right now. But I still love what I do. I wouldn't change it. I'm glad it was me instead of somebody else.
How has it changed your outlook on life?
Don't take things for granted. Enjoy your family time. Let them know how much you care. And just take care of your citizens the best you can do. And that's all I want to do. It's just, if there was anybody to lose their life today, it was meant to be me. It didn't happen, I wouldn't want it to happen to nobody. I've been in the military and I served in a war, but it was pretty hard. Very much.